Chapter 6, Red-Handed. Hopefully you're all having a good day. Steve cowers in the center of the web of laser beams, clutching a roll of Nick's blueprints in his hands. Steve, Bashir, Dick, bro! Listen, it's not what it looks like. So, you were just taking Nick's private blueprints for a walk? That's nice of you. Definitely not Steve's. Steve nervously eyes a beam that crisscrosses another few inches from his head. Just turn these damn things off, okay? And I'll tell you whatever you want. Does anyone know where the off switch is? John leans close to you, lowering his voice so that only you can hear him. Steve's a slippery bastard. If you want honesty out of him, you should leave the lasers on. Let him sweat a little. You eye Steve. He stands deathly still, a bead of sweat forming on the side of his forehead. Gain an edge. Diamond choice, I'm assuming. Leave the lasers on. I love how he smiles. Don't find that switch yet, Dante. What? Oh, you're gonna tell me what I want to know. Or I'm gonna leave you here until the cops arrive. You can't do that! Oh, fun. I love party games. We should throw peanuts at him every time we think he's lying. Farah, why are you helping these wannabe detectives? Farah airily waves a hand, her voice lightening a little as she keeps up her public persona. It's less helping and more tagging along. I finished the show I was watching and they seem like a decent replacement. Isn't what we're proposing torture? We are breaking the law. No, it's not. You whisper to Dante underneath your breath. The lasers won't hurt Steve unless he touches them. Just don't tell him that. Yeah, it's a gray area. Should I get those peanuts? Does he have a peanut allergy? Okay, I'll talk. He looks guiltily at the blueprints in his hands. Okay. So I was taking some of Nick's product designs, but it's not for anything shady. I seriously doubt that. So, what kind of person steals from another dead man? Steve looks away, ashamed. It's not like he's using them anymore. Ugh, that doesn't make it any less heartless. You're not an engineer. Who are you taking them for? I don't have to be an engineer to want some cool plans. I could, frame them. Ooh, Steve, no, that's just tacky. It's also complete bull. You weren't planning on displaying unreleased whoosh schematics on your wall. Hey, Finn asked me a question and I answered. Don't get all aggro just because you don't like the answer. Glance between John and Steve as they glare at each other, the red light of the lasers reflecting in Steve's eyes. If you wanted the blueprints for yourself, do you know how much those blueprints or plans are worth? I hadn't thought about it. You're lying. You think about the price of everything. Okay, fine. Some friends might have mentioned that they'd pay 7 figures if I came across any of Nick's unreleased designs. What a coincidence. Oh, I wish I was surprised. You remind me of so many other rich guys I've worked with. For a moment, Farah's a perfect facade slips, genuine anger blazing through. Hey, I thought you liked me. Until now. At least I didn't really like you from the get-go. Her party-goer persona snaps back into place with a wide-eyed pout. I did until you stole from our dead friend. Does it help if I still would have done it if he'd been alive? Oh, God. No. You spot a whoosh robot rolling up the corridor. Inspiration strikes. Maybe you can help, Whoosher. Hey, Whoosh, clean the office. Pay special attention to the garbage behind the desk. Are you seriously sicking a vacuum on me? The Whoosh bot zooms into office, passing under the lasers to bump gently against his ankles. He recoils, his arm brushing against one of the beams of red light. Ow! Get it off me, Farah, help! You notice John smiling grimly at his discomfort. She sighs and clicks her fingers. Whoosh, heal. Are we done yet? Just one more thing. If I was writing the scene, I would have an investigator appeal to his friendship with Nick, or to his pride. I don't think he has any. I don't think he had any friendship with the guy either. Who was your buyer for the designs? A smart guy. A smart guy like you must have been able to start a real bidding war. That was the plan. This is not his ego, it's just money and greed. A one-of-a-kind plan from a one-of-a-kind guy. Whoosh competitors are always looking for any way to get an edge over Nick and Pete, okay? And they'll pay anything for it. So that was the plan? Sell Nick's cutting-edge designs to a cheap imitator? Look, I'm not a bad guy, okay? Whoosh had already rejected these designs. I was just trying to make sure Nick's creative legacy lived on, while making yourself a couple million on the side. I'm not gonna try and teach you how the world works, my guy. I already know what a lost cause that is. Turn the lasers off, Dante. I think we're all going to get it. Dante glances around until Farah suddenly points him towards a picture frame hanging on the wall. He finds the switch behind it. Steve heaves a sigh of relief as lasers disappear. Finally! You're lucky I don't sue. Jun punch. I'm not the one who got stuck in Nick's secret laser grid. So go ahead. You only got yourself to thank for that. Steve steps toward the door to make his escape, but Jun steps into the doorway, blocking him. He holds out a hand expectingly. What do you want, a tip? The blueprints, idiot. You can't think we'd actually let you keep them, right? No wonder Nick never introduced you to us before now. You're a total pill. Am I blue or am I red? Maybe green? He slaps the blueprints into John's hands and stomps away down the corridor. Oh, I always thought Steve was a boring, slimy a-hole, but I never thought he'd try to screw Nick over like this. Took the words right out of my mouth. It's one of the reasons why I didn't like him from the start. You watch John as he stiffly opens a safe and sets the blueprints inside, locking them away. Am I imagining things, or did that get kind of personal between you and Steve? Things have been tense between them ever since the big breakup. The what? Please, I may not have professional standards, but I do have personal ones. John used to work for Steve before Nick made him a better offer. I had no idea. Is that why Steve's such a jerk to you? Not entirely. He crosses his arms, looking away. His history with Steve is clearly not one he's used to sharing. That means you know Steve better than anyone else here. Was he telling us the truth just now? Pieces of it, but he left plenty out. And I can guess why. Steve wanted to sell off Nick's blueprints like some kind of floral print-wearing grave robber. But it's weird that someone as rich as Steve would need to steal anything. Steve would steal from a kid's piggy bank, but this does feel desperate even for him. There's gotta be some kind of motive he's hiding from us. Faro, want to get us into Steve's room to find out what that is? Oh, gladly. You wind through the halls of the mansion and arrive in Steve's room. Farah unlocks and swings his door open, and the four of you recoil. Ugh. What a mess. The contents of his suitcase are strewn around the room, and air hangs heavy with the smell of gin and aftershave. Did someone get here before us, or is this just how he lives? The latter. Horrifying, but let's keep our eyes peeled for anything questionable. Blood, bleach, potential weapon, suspicious documents. The team gets searching. Dante moves a discarded pair of jeans, exposing a pair of empty gin bottles. There's barely a drop left. And this guy has a real problem. Apparently he drank enough of gin to knock out a horse sometime after he got here. I feel like I recognize the brand. Those are Nick's dens. Or from Nick's den. They're from a very small batch. So Steve ignored all the booze Nick put on to offer just to steal a couple of bottles he kept for himself? Rude. Rude or not, it might support his alibi. Steve said he was in here drinking alone when Nick died. But we don't know what time those bottles were drunk. He could have killed Nick and then spent the night drinking. He didn't seem drunk when you read us the note. that's because he might be used to doing what he does. He didn't seem too surprised either. You need a soul to be moved by the news of someone's death. She pulls a small box from Steve's closet and opens it curiously. Is this anything? Empty case. Wonder what it was in it. Looks expensive, whatever it was. It almost looks like it could hold a little toffee hammer. You can get ridiculously nice ones. A hammer. Could that have been the murder weapon? Toffee hammers, or whatever, would fit in that box. Way too small to crack a skull open. I don't think I'd give you a concussion. Oh, man, John. Stick with your profession, dude. I'm just gonna say it. John, I think you might be more terrifying than any character I've ever played. Listen, if you can kill a person with a pencil, and no, that's legitimate. It isn't John Wick stuff. It's actually legitimately happened. Listen, you can kill somebody with a small hammer. You just have to hit them in the right spot. Thank you. And also, he wasn't dead, probably until he hit the ground. I'm just throwing that out there. Something buzzes somewhere in the room. Wait, listen to that. You all freeze, trying to pinpoint the location. Farah lifts Steve's mattress, revealing a burner phone. She grabs it. A second phone is never good. Okay, Steve having a hidden phone is pretty damn suspicious. It looks like he's getting a bunch of texts, but it's locked, and the phone hacking isn't my purview. She tosses you the phone. You try to open the text and are met with a 4-digit PIN request. Try 8008. It was his password for everything when I worked for him. As in... boob, you know. Wow. You tapping in and almost hoping Steve had the dignity to change his passcode. It unlocks. Well, that's sad. Looks like he was getting texts in a group chat and they're freaking out. Night Justice. Steve, come on, this isn't funny. It's been like a week. Crypto Clown. Pick up your phone, man. I can has currency, please. Pick up. Pick up. Well, these are some names. I'll... what to see what else they type. Night Justice, I see you read receipt. Are you seriously ghosting us right now? Maybe he took the money and ran. What money? The crypto tanked 6 months ahead of schedule. He's as screwed as we are. Ah, so he put all of his money in crypto, basically. Anyone want to tell me what literally any of this means? Really? Listen, I've met people who don't know what NSFW means in the past week, so... it's a weird world we live in, really. It is. Steve's big into cryptocurrency. Into is an understatement. He made a bunch of his own currencies, and it sounds like they've all crashed and burned, taking the money of everyone who invested with him. Logan Paul, is that you? What? Sorry, what? You swipe out of the group chat, look at Steve's recent text history. One conversation catches your eye. That might explain why Steve was texting with Maribel Chapman from Trust Bank America last week. Party Steve. Hey, Mary. My card was just declined. What gives? How many times am I going to have to explain your situation to you, Steve? No, I get it, but you said I had $300 left, so how's it already gone? Yes, $300, not 300 grand. Oh. How do I get more? Oh my god. There is no more money in your account, Steve. That's what I've been trying to tell you. He's broke. How? He was one of Whoosh's first investors. He might be trying to sell his shares if he's desperate, but that's not exactly the same as having cash on hand. Especially when all of his investments in startups seem like they've blown up as much as his crypto schemes. It's what he deserves. John's fist clench at his sides as he stares at the phone. The look in his eyes is part satisfaction, part anguish. John, are you... I need a minute. He strides towards the door and he's gone before you can stop him. Farah and Dante exchange a worried look. Should we go after him? Someone should. There are so many emotions a person can bottle up, and this is a bad weekend to find out what the limit is. John seems like he could use someone to open up to. Diamond choice, clearly. I'll go check on him. You two finish up here. Dante, do you remember what the original state of this chaos was? Sure, those boxes were hanging off in the corner of that desk. You leave them to it and hurry into the hallway, looking for John. I think he went in this direction. You move deeper into the guest wing and hear a slapping sound from a branching hallway. Ominous. You follow it to an open door. John is inside, his shirt discarded as he slams his fist into a suspended punching bag and short, sharp jabs. Yep. Are you picturing anyone in particular? Take a guess. Frustration radiates off John as he jabs his fist in a series of fast, furious punches. So, you and Steve go way back. Uh-huh. I agree that he's the worst, but I have to know, what did he do that made you hate him so much? I mean, what specifically? Because I've known him for like a day, and it seems like there are plenty of options. It wasn't just one thing he did, it was dozens, hundreds. The punching bag swings under a particular powerful jab. Him investing a whoosh was a fluke. Steve's a terrible investor. Everything he throws his money behind is a scam that only profits by duping other people into investing. So he gets duped, and then he gets out of trouble by duping other people? That's the heart of it, yeah. And he doesn't care what it does to him. He swallows and lets loose another series of punches. I remember one guy, the single dad, he was looking for a way to put his kid through college, so he invested with Steve. Oh no. Yeah. He had barely anything to begin with, but Steve conned him into thinking he could triple his investment. I tried to warn him, but... John swings at the bag once again, but this punch was less force behind his shoulder slump, his eyes suddenly looking haunted. After a month, the scheme collapsed, cost him everything. He found Steve and came at him, fists raised, and I did my job. I stopped him, dragged him away, when all I wanted to do was pummel Steve in his smug, soulless face. He swings again, and the punch bag shudders under the force of his anger, the chain pulling tight against the ceiling. John, I can see why you left to work for Nick. He nods and throws another punch, but this one lands more softly. We saw a lot of each other over the years while I was working for Steve, though we didn't talk much. He tried, but, well, you've seen me on the job. You can be very... taciturn. Right. I have no idea how he knew I was unhappy, but he made me an offer when he was building this place. Better pay, benefits, not that it mattered. I would have accepted something, anything to get away from Steve. I wish I'd left sooner. John, you know that having worked for Steve doesn't make you a bad person, right? Maybe not, but it doesn't do much for my idea of myself as a great one, either. You see a quiet sort of acceptance in his eyes, but no self-loathing. This is something he's been working through for a long time. How did Steve react when you left to work for Nick? He wipes his brow, his knuckles are red. How do you think? Pretended he was fine around Nick, except acted like a complete ass behind his back. Did you ever tell Nick? No, I wish I had. He glances at you, lips twitching into a grim smile. But knowing that Steve's finally run out of cash is some small comfort. Yeah, until he dupes someone else. His money has protected him from the consequences of every awful thing he's ever done. But now he's finally paying for it. You take in the relaxed set of his shoulders, a new clarity in his eyes. Wow, punching it out really does work for you. Usually, but talking also helped. Wanna give it a try? Talking? Punching. You're already overqualified in the other thing. You raise your fists and eye the bag hanging from the chain. Got any tips? He steps up to you, closes his hands over yours, adjusting the position of your thumbs and elbows. Think about something you want to hit. Keep your elbow loose or your weight behind the fist. Also, don't completely close your fist. You stare down in the punching bag and take a deep breath. I'll picture the physical manifestation of writer's block. No, we're just gonna go with Nick's killer. I don't know who you are, you murderous a-hole, but I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna make you pay. Wham! We follow John's instructions, letting your face fly, and it connects hard, sending the bag swinging. Nice. How do you feel? I feel ready to take you on. You give him a playful jab in the arm. How about a little sparring match, one-on-one? John gives an amused snort, catching your next jab easily in one hand. Easy, Grasshopper. You're not ready for me just yet. You feel the heat of his hand as it grips yours, his strong body only inches away from yours. Then, all at once, he steps back, releasing your hand as he collects himself. But that wasn't bad for a first try. From you, I'll take that as a glowing compliment. John pulls his shirt back on. Dude, you got a shirt, a vest, and a jacket. Don't give me this. Let's find the others and get back to work. Dante and Farah are still in Steve's room, carefully returning everything the way it was before you broke in. Find anything else? Nothing to do with Nick. Plenty I need to scrub from my brain. I think we have enough as it is. He takes a deep breath and runs a hand through his hair. Look, if you'd asked me this morning if I thought Steve could have murdered Nick, I would have said no. Not because I thought he wasn't capable. He's genuinely a terrible person. There's not much he wouldn't do for his own benefit. But that's the thing. I didn't think Nick's death would benefit him. But now that we know he's broke... John... that doesn't necessarily make him the killer. But out of the suspect pool, he has the strongest motive. No alibi, and the least amount of empathy for anyone else. And he does have a short temper. We need to confront Steve now. Hang on. If we go in guns blazing, accuse Steve, and get it wrong, we're gonna lose the other's patience fast. Steve has a serious motive, but we have no evidence that he knew Nick was planning to give up his inheritance anyway. If we can find that out, it'll make all the difference. Then we have a goal. Let's go kick it. As Farah locks Steve's bedroom behind you all, Dante's phone buzzes. He looks at the caller ID and hesitates. Damn, it's Mike, producer. For your dream project? He gives you a rueful smile. Yeah, feels kinda disrespectful to be dreaming about a movie while all this is going on, but... Take the call, Dante. You deserve a win. Just let us know how it goes after. His smile flickers for a moment. Thanks, Finn. It's nice to have you in my corner. He gives you a grateful smile and steps away, pressing the phone to his ear. Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. Must be amazing to be able to split your focus like that. Be nice, he's an actor. Compartmentalization is part of the gig. I'm guessing you do your share of compartmentalization too, living a double life. I'm gonna take that as your way of saying that I make it look easy. You suddenly hear Steve's voice echoing up a staircase. Ow, careful! You follow it down to the living room, Steve sitting on the couch beside Madani, holding his bare forearm out for her to inspect. A freaking laser burned me, Madani. There has to be something there. What about my ankles? I was savaged by a rogue whoosh. I don't see anything, Steve. There's nothing wrong with you. Maybe I'm just feeling mentally and emotionally scarred then. You offer psych consultancy. If I were to sue someone for damages over all this, would you? I don't, and I would not. You're looking to sue someone. Are you that strapped for cash? Panic flickers across his eyes. What? I'm not strapped. I'm just, it's the principal thing. I came here for a good time, and now I'm trapped and traumatized. I'll, let you four have some privacy for whatever this is. She hurries out of the room and closing the door behind her, Steve eyes you warily. So what do you want now? Oh, I'd like to take that sword on the wall and, impale you with it. Watch you slowly bleed out because no one could come save you, but, I digress. Listen, it was kind of like letting out a punching bag like John. Don't at me. We know your secret, Steve. Something you've worked pretty damn hard to keep from everyone else here. I have no idea what you're talking about, but whatever John told you about me is BS. We know that you're... I'd like to say failure, but flat broke. Who told you that? It wasn't hard to put together. You've been skulking around, drinking Nick's best booze, looking for stuff to steal since you got here. That's not totally true. Laura sits down beside him, fuck sympathy playing in her doe eyes. That is why you really came to the party, isn't it? Steve sighs, leaning into her. She puts an arm around him, shooting you a look of private disgust. Oh, yeah. I had a run of financial bad luck lately. I came here to ask Nick for a loan. And did you? Steve pauses, his forlorn gaze locked on the ground as he composes himself. Nah, I was planning to do it right before the party, but he went upstairs. He wasn't in the suite, or he wasn't answering. Probably too busy getting murdered, I guess. So I procured a couple of bottles of gin from Nick's den and went to my room. I told you that part before. You drank 2 full bottles of Nick's gin before he was pushed? No, I drank half a bottle before Angelina started screaming about Nick being dead. Then I drank the rest after to help me sleep. No way to verify that, but the real test is seeing if he knew about Nick's plan to give it all up. Steve... What would you have done if Nick said no to the loan? This is Nick we're talking about, right? Our ultra-loaded friend with a heart of gold. Why the hell would he say no? What if he didn't have the money to give you? Steve blinks at you, seemingly confused. I know you don't get money, Finn, but Nick had, infinite cash flow. It was cool. We would have worked something out. Glance inquiringly at Jun, and he gives a tight-jawed nod. Even Jun thinks he's telling the truth, which means this is a dead end. Damn. Look, I get that you want justice for Nick, or to stop his killer from cutting up the rest of us, or whatever, but you're looking at the wrong guy. Like I told you this morning, Dante doesn't have an alibi either, and he was upstairs at the time I was. You saw him? I heard him. He was walking up the hall outside my door, muttering something weird. I mean, ominous stuff, man, no one can ever know. It could be referring to something other than murder. Or he's been playing us for fools this whole time. Suddenly, Dante's voice fills the room via the mansion's crystal-clear sound system. Hello, everyone. I want you all to join me tonight in the Western Lounge for a very special occasion. That's it? That's all we got? Damn. This week's chapter of this is actually short and sweet, but it is what it is. So, without further ado, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Please, if you did enjoy it, to like, share, and subscribe. There's a few ways to support the channel as well. They're in the description, but also the thanks and join features that are on the channel. It's a great way of saying, hey, thank you for reading, thank you for making this enjoyable content, and hey, thanks for buying VIP and providing us with this exclusive content that pretty much you would have to wait months to be able to access this chapter. So, yeah, there's a great way of supporting that. Other than that, like I said, share, like, yada yada. Yeah, I really don't have much input on this week's chapter, so I do apologize about being a little late. I am also working on the other chapters. Again, I'm not feeling well, so please understand. But I did leave a little personal message at the end of today's Immortal video, so please go check that out. Hopefully you enjoy that book as it is. It's one of the few last good books that Pixelberry is doing as of late, and it seems like they're going down a slippery slope, especially as some of their writers, unfortunately, the good ones, are leaving to go do their own adventures. So yeah, I miss the old Pixelberry, don't you? I miss the old choices. But hey, you know what? I'm also covering a lot of other apps on the channel, so feel free to check those out as well. And hopefully they bring up some of your, or they pique some of your interest. But also, hey, I'm always open for suggestions in terms of other apps, other games, things like that. Always feel free to suggest in the comment section. Thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.